Hey everyone, JSD Cool here, and welcome to a little impromptu live stream. I say impromptu, this is my normal streaming time here, so like, nothing here is too out of the ordinary. But anyhow, so, in GTA Online, there are actually just GTA 5 in general, because it's all stolen from single player. But anyhow, there are missions where you have to hack into something, in order to do something. And now what you're seeing on your screen here, this image, is one of those hacks. Now, this one is particularly annoying, as it requires you to be able to find this string of numbers here up top within this area down here. It gives you like a minute to do it, but the numbers are shifting around, which is kind of annoying. So, and sometimes it can be really annoying to do it. So, what I want to do, and what I'm here to do today, is to make an AI or machine learning model that'll do it for me, theoretically. Now, we'll say I do only have 17 sample images, which is not that much data, admittedly, to train something, but we'll see how it goes. Oh, also, hello. That was kind of strange, but yes, I'm here once again to do the thing. Anyhow, so that's just kind of like background for what we've got so far. As you can see, here's one of the images. It's 1080p, because that's what I'm at. But I'll also have a couple images, I believe, which are this weird resolution. Oh, that's behind my head. This weird resolution here, because that's what my laptop has for its screen's resolution. And I took this one in there. So hopefully it will be able to deal with both of these, as we're going to feed both of those in. Terms of the actual infrastructure, I also prepared a bit of this, because it's all boring infrastructure that I would have had to basically just copy-paste from somewhere else. So I put it all here. So first of all, imports whatever, who cares. First of all, we set up the physical devices. We do want to be GPU accelerating this sort of thing, especially for training. Maybe matters a little bit less for the actual usage, but definitely training it matters. Here, hold on. Let me just open this. Okay. So this is setting the specific device. Now, the first one we'll want to use is X, or at least for me, I want to use is XPU, because that is my Intel graphics card, which is my primary one and is the fastest one I have. If it fails to detect that, it would go with CUDA, which is an NVIDIA card. I technically have one installed in my system, but it's broken. It doesn't really work anymore, so I've disabled it until I can, like, next week remove it from my system. But that's here in case anyone else wanted to run this on their NVIDIA system. And then we fall back to the CPU. I could put in the one for Apple Silicon as well, but I'm too lazy to remember what that one is. I think it's like MPS or something. Anyway, also I hope I installed I hope I actually installed the correct version of PyTorch in here, because annoyingly, I was trying to install one of the components. It was like, oh, we can't find a satisfactory version of that, which I think might mean that I'm using too new of a version of Python, but oh well. Python. Anyhow, so I'm going down with the infrastructure here. We have our data set. This basically just takes in takes our input images in. Oh yeah, I should actually explain. So obviously we have the actual image as an input here, but as the kind of ground truth data that we want to compare it to, we then have this. I spent my time going through this, which means I actually did have to go through all of the static images and find the correct numbers, and it was hard for some of these to do that. It did take me a while, versus these are static images in my image editing program. But anyhow, I just went and basically took these and drew a white box over where the correct answer is. You can, if I quickly switch back and forth here, you can see that. And so what we're going to try to do here is we're going to try to feed this into the AI and have it produce this. Now, again, 17 samples. It might learn just these inputs, which would be kind of bad. To produce these outputs, but we'll see what it gets. I mean, inevitably, when I need more data, we'll go to GTA Online and find places where there's a couple of these hacks, and then just do them. It might take a moment, because I don't think I'm necessarily there anywhere, because I know of 2 places where I can easily get. Okay, so I don't know if you were able to hear that. There are people outside being loud. I'm on the 2nd floor, by the way. Yes, my window is open a bit because temperature regulation is bad in this place. It is, by the way, it is Apparently 15 degrees Fahrenheit outside right now. So it's not particularly warm outside, but my window has to be open a bit, otherwise I will basically boil alive in here. I just heard people outside. And to be fair, there's like snow on the ground, so that's a very heavy dampening effect on any noise. That, I mean, it must have been right outside, but still, that was loud. Anyhow, I don't remember what I was talking about. Images, they go into the AI, we figure out what we need to do, so I can just feed a live feed. Theoretically, what I will be able to do from this is I'll be able to use OBS Virtual Cam to directly feed the image in from my, so feed the live capture from OBS in. It will then generate an output which I can overlay onto the screen on OBS, or overlay on OBS, so I can just see easily where the stuff is. That's what we're doing. Get rid of all these. Oh, right. That's what I was talking about. I was talking about the infrastructure here. So anyway, this basically just creates a data set out of our input images. Then we have our the function. This function actually loads up all the images. This is where we generate the actual, like, oops, I don't need that. This is how we generate all the file names, and then we take them down here. We load them up. We normalize them to be floating point 0 to 1 instead of 0 to 255. We change around the channel order because PyTorch is fun. Then we load the corresponding mask image. We really want this to be a binary image because we don't care about the 3 channels. That's more trainable parameters that we don't really care about, so we just won't. Similar stuff here. This is way faster than looping through these images to create the proper thing. Even this may not have been entirely necessary, but I just felt like that would be useful. Then we make it, and we take those images, put them into the data set, and create the data loader out of it. This is what we're going to actually feed into the training loop of our AI. Now we have 17 images, so the batch size is 4. It should go pretty quickly, I'd imagine, because it's not much data. They are 1080p for the most part, but there is. Okay, then we have our single model training pass. We set the model to train mode. We set some statistics up. We go through each batch. We move the inputs to whatever device. We zero the gradient, blah 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 blah. Machine learning stuff. Could explain it, but I don't feel like it. Then we have our general training class. Probably could have been a function, but whatever. We basically just take in like all the statistics and stuff here. We set up all the different things like our loss function, learning rate, that's all here. Now then this just runs this number of steps. We could call this function twice to do this twice, whatever. It will print out the general loss. It will save the every, how much? 50. So every 50 times through the data it'll save. Then we have this function which loads or creates. Actually, let's rename this to load or create model. So the default is obviously to load the model in from, or the default is to create. But if we want to, there's an existing model we want to load it up to use it, for that we have to, actually the default's not create, it's to load, whatever, sorry. We load the model, or we create the model, put it on whatever device we want, then we tell it to load the saved weights, and then making sure that the weights are not on any device when we load it. Then we make sure everything's on the proper device again. That's basically what that does. Here's statically outside of anything. So if this was this file used in another file, here is where we would do that loading of the model, just in general. And here's our main function, which gets obviously just executed down here. So we have this training variable, and this is where it's tested. If we're in training mode, we load our training data. Then we run it. We create a model trainer. We run the model trainer. Then once we're done, we save the end result model, and we're done. Otherwise, this is displaying stuff. We may need to modify this as we go for our stuff. But actually, I will... False. I can just show off what this does, because as it currently stands... Ooh, fills the screen. It basically, well, it creates two images. This one is the original image. Oop, oh no. Oh no. Oh, say window, thanks. Window, hello, Windows. Here, we'll just run it again because I don't know. I clicked on something wrong. Admittedly, these are big because they're both 1080p. This one is supposedly the output of the AI, but it currently isn't doing anything. The AI is not doing anything right now, so it just is the same as the input image. That might not work so well in the future, but we'll figure that out when we come to it, because then we have the model, or lack thereof right now. So this is where the fun part, like, you know, we're 10 minutes into the stream, and this is when we're actually going to start doing stuff. So here we actually got to make the model. Now, because I have these varying size images, I'm going to make it a purely convolutional model. Hopefully that works. Hopefully that works. So, first thing we do is we make a sequential thing. So, self.la layers equals nn sequential, and I believe we pass in an array here. Yes, this is, oh, what are you complaining about? What? What is this stupidity? What do you mean unspecified types? Okay, I am not entirely sure if this is correct, so I will do some background research here, looking at a situation where I've had this exact thing done before, and I will see. In my background research, I mean I'm on literally I'm on a laptop back here doing stuff. So let me find... Maybe it's just a comma separated list. That's all I could say. So let's go that one. Now, I think this would probably be in networks, I guess. Come on, Notepad++, please open. Yeah, this is very much annoying. Okay. Simple. Okay, it's not a list. I was wrong. Don't put it in a list. Just have, like, comma separated parameters. Okay. I must have been getting confused with other things, because quite frankly that very much is. Okay, so let's see, what do we got here? We got 3 in, 3 channels in, 64 channels out. Kernel size of 3, which, let's say that's fine for now. We can mess with this later if we want to test results. Stride of 1 and padding. I don't know what padding 1 is. We're going to do same. So that's going to be our first layer. We want to activate that with a ReLU. Then we do 64, 64. Sure. Then we're going to want to go down. So we're going to go 128, and then we're not going to have padding in here because we're going to use, I'm going to say a stride of 2. That should half the size of the image. Now, was 10? 10's the weird size one? No, not 10. 15? Let me go the original images. Which one was it? Was it like 10, 11? I guess I just have to go through each one of them. This one. Okay, 13. Okay. So 1366 by 768. All right. This is what we're going to have to deal with. Now, we want to get this down to a reasonably small sizes. We are using kind of an auto-encoder type layout. So, actually, I could use the Python console instead of the physical calculator here to show you what's going on. So, we have 1366 divided by 2. That's 683. I could probably just make a thing say, use this thing to generate a number of layers. I could, but I'm going to put them in by hand for now so that we can do other things later. So that's 2 layers. Actually, here's what we're going to do. We're going to... Actually, no. It's going to be 2 to the 3rd. What? 2 cubed? Oh, right. That's not how you do cubed. I know Python has an operator for this, but that's XOR. That's not exponentiation. 178. Actually, we should be using the vertical one because that's going to disappear way faster. 768. 48 for 4 layers. What about 5 layers? Okay, so 5 layers gets down to 24 by... Alright. 42 by... Yeah, 42 by 24. That's... Or roughly thereabouts. That sounds like a good size to get it down to. I hope the output will be the same size. If it's not... Whatever. I know we could just build this out of blocks, and I want to do that. I think you could put a sequential inside of a sequential with no problems there. So, what we're going to do, I'm going to say def down block in features out features. It shouldn't be that. It should basically be this. Except using, obviously, in features and out features. And, actually, no. So we're going to have one layer that... Okay, we'll have one layer that automatically squishes things down. So this is going to be our down block here. So we'll have this one layer up top, which I guess we'll have really... So that goes down to... This doesn't change its size, but does expand it out to 64 layers. Then we got... down block of 64 to... Now, I don't think we should necessarily go do another down block. Oh. Well, this one will be 128. We decided 5 down blocks is going to be enough. Down block of 128 to 256. And then 256. This feels like an extreme number of features to be going for, but we'll figure it out. Eventually we could potentially maybe do more of like a ResNet thing where we have some of the residuals in there, but for now, this is this. ResNet thing would require us to do something else entirely, actually, though, to get that working. Actually, you know what? Here, we'll say a down block only has 2. Yeah, we'll say a down block that is only two layers then. So this is 1, 2, 3, 4, and then down block 256, 512. Then it's time to go up. So we'll need another variant of this. This is a pretty large network, but we are, 1080p images. And also, we don't have that much data, so maybe this is going to be a problem. Who knows? Up block. So, it's not up, so this NN dot convolution transpose 2D. So we want to do in reverse. So what we're at, we can't, okay, padding doesn't work the same way it does. I know for these padding doesn't work the same way, but regardless with stride you can't have padding. So this is going to go to out features immediately. And then we activation layer. Now this is going to be stride of 1, padding of 1, I guess, because I don't know what the same equivalent would be for here. I'm guessing that's what padding 1 does here. Let's see if this will give me anything. Maybe. Well, that doesn't really help me at all. Regardless, that is an up block. Yep, so that's symmetrical to this, just using the convolution transpose, which is supposedly the inverse of a convolution, but also not. So, now what we're going to do is we're going to say decode. I will label this here the encode steps. So for decode, we're going to have an up block of 512 to 256. Then we're going to have an up block of 256 to 256 because that we're mirroring here. Then the next one is 256, 128. Then 128, 128. 128, 64. That is 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 of them. Then we're going to have one final convolution 2D, and I think, do we want to do an I think we don't do an activation at the end of this. I'm not entirely sure, but I think we don't do an activation at the end of this. The conv transpose 2D, we have in channel 64, out channel is 1. Kernel size 3, we don't need that. Padding 1, that should be because of kernel size 3. And that should be our actual layers all set up, hopefully. I have no idea if any of this is going to work properly, by the way. We're definitely getting an error here. And then we just say x equals self.layers x. That should be our forward all done. It's pretty simple, actually. And yeah, I think we're actually done now. So let's see what kind of errors I'm going to get. Oh wait, this is just going to pop open the windows again. Oh, no, actually it totally fucked everything up. Okay. Well. Weight size of that expected that had to have but got 512 channels. Well, here, let me switch this into training mode. And then we'll get the same error again, I'm pretty sure. First, it's got to load data, which takes a moment. Okay. So... So anything in my other file here. So that would be models. Oh, right, because it's just going through the stack effectively. Yeah. Stack. Okay. Torch.stack batch. Wait. Stack expects each tensor to be equal size. We got that at entry 0 and that. Oh. Okay. So everything in the batch has to be of the same size. So that means I'm gonna have to resize. Okay, does OpenCV, which I'm pretty sure it does, have a image resizing thing? Create data. So before we do that, well, we'll just do that here. 2 dot. So okay, so resize image to 1920 by 1080. Inter area. Which type of interpolation should... Let's try bilinear. No, let's just not... It looks like an optional parameter by the looks of things. Interpolation... Anyhow, so that should resize any loaded image to be 1920 by 1080, which is the size of all of our images, all the images but those couple. Alright, now let's see what happens. Loading data. Bleh. Stack expects each tensor to be equal size, but got... didn't resize the output. So, let's do that here. Mask image equals that resized to 1920 1080. Hopefully the rescaling doesn't fuck with the hard boundary lines on that. It might. Alright, here's the error that we were getting before. Okay, so this is on self.layers of x. Right, because it would be there. Okay, given transposed equals 1, weight of size 256, 256, 33, expected input of 4, 5, 12, 65, 19 to have 264. Oh, I don't know, 4 of them. What? What in the fuck? But got 512 channels instead. Oh. Well, there's the problem. Because also, okay, so the way I've done things in the past is I've just kind of, instead of putting all these in a nice sequential block here, I've just kind of saved them all as their own separate variables and then separately done them down here. That would have told me where the error is. Because the problem with this is that you don't know where in the stack you get the error from. Which is, you know, fun. You can be sure you got it somewhere, though, so. Ooh. I think it's working. Never mind, it's not working. Yeah, I just thought of that. The stream might have a little bit of a performance issue if the GPU is being heavily hammered by this. Because that's the same GPU that's trying to encode the stream. I probably should have given OBS a high priority so that it wouldn't be subject to this, but oh well. Okay, what are... the size of a tensor must match this A, must match B. Okay. I suspect that probably... So this is where... I think I know where this happened, though. Actually, I can tell exactly where this happened. This happened right here in the loss function. So, it's one smaller than the input, which has something to do with the convolutional transpose, and I'm not entirely sure why that is. So we will... I will go figure out how to ask an AI, because, yeah, that seems about right. Oh, also, while I'm looking at it right now, yeah, YouTube redesigned the live stream, the backend live stream page. And right now they're complaining that I have an extremely low bitrate. Would you guess that staring at a non-changing image that is basically just text has a very low bitrate to it? Because it does. Oh no, 1,500 kilobytes per second when 6,800. It's HD enough, okay? It's variable bitrate. No, that was the wrong thing. I just clicked on something, sorry. I meant to do this, so I could, could say, Google on the wall. Actually, we're gonna go ChatGPT. Chat.openai.com. The fact that they let you use this without signing in is very nice, because that's what I do all the time, and it didn't even ask me to sign in just then, which is kind of strange. Okay, let's see. So I am making machine learning model with PyTorch. Okay, let's give it a little bit of background, just enough. It'll know what I'm trying to say. PyTorch. Let's see. I have solutional layers that shrink and image down and transposed. I am making all sorts of spelling mistakes. Layers that are supposed to bring it back to size, but the output size is one smaller than the input. Why? Oh, what I did. Convolutional and a image, huh? JNSP. Okay, those tabs at the top, I've never really noticed those before. Okay, let's see. As a combination that happens between the convolution transposed convolutions, sometimes referred to as deconvolutions, the issue arises of how padding is applied and how the stride affects the output size during convolution operations. In convolutional layers, the size of the output is determined by this formula. Yep. Okay, so output equals input minus kernel plus 2 times padding over stride plus 1. This formula can sometimes cause the output size to shrink by 1 if certain conditions are met, i.e. if the kernel size is odd and no padding is applied. This is because when the kernel comes over the image, there might not be enough regions where it can apply the kernel due to the edges, which can result in smaller output. Transposed convolutional. In a transposed layer, the goal is to increase the spatial resolution of the image. However, depending on how the kernel and stride effect are set, the output might not be the exact same size as the input. For example, if the kernel size, stride, and padding do not align perfectly, the output can be 1 pixel smaller than expected. The formula is just that, so there's no division there. Actually, that makes sense. Input minus 1 times stride minus 2 times padding plus kernel size. If you have mismatched padding or stride settings, or if you're not accounting for how many kernel interacts, or how the kernel interacts with the input size, the output could be 1 unit smaller than you expect. Potential failure, check your padding. I am pretty confident. I mean, the kernel size, that's the wrong file. Kernel size, never changed it. It's always 3, which that might be actually the problem here. We maybe should set this one and this one to be 2. That might fix it. Padding, which you can't have any padding on. I mean, I don't know what the same padding would be for the down here, but it's something. Shrink too much. If you're using a kernel size 3, try adding 1 unit padding. Padding equals 1 to keep the output. Okay, I did that. It's probably the thing with the odd kernel size. Case of transpose, make sure that you're using the correct stride and kernel size to bring the image back to its original size. Okay. Use padding equals same or valid. Unfortunately, you can only do numbers with transpose one. In some cases, you just use same for convolution layers, which ensures that the output size is the same as the input size. For transpose, padding can help control the exact output size. Sometimes you might need to adjust the output size manually, either by adding or removing padding. Okay, or adjusting the kernel size. For example, if you're using a convolution to 2D layer, you might want to add padding as 1 if you're using a kernel size of 3. I could try just setting it to 1 instead of same. Here, yeah, let's do that. Instead of same, let's set this to 1. That can still be same there. See if that fixes it. And the stream's gonna lag. You know, it just come. No. Okay, that did not fix it. Okay, so yeah. It did not fix my issue, ChatGPT, but I'm gonna try setting this and this to a kernel size of 2. That way it is not needing to worry about the weirdness with odd kernel sizes and dividing by 2 effectively. Alright, lagging again. I'm just silent, I don't know. Damn it. Oh. That's even worse. Okay, that didn't work. It's probably integer division or something. Yeah, there's probably some sort of integer division going on, which is not particularly good. So back to the Python console here. So okay, so 1080 divided by 2, 540 divided by 2, 270 divided by 2, and 135 divided by 2 is 67.5. That would be 1, 2, 3, 4. That's not even 5. Okay. Then we're going to take 67 divided by 2, because that half is probably nothing. And we get 33.5. So we say 33 times, and then 2 to the 5th, just because I'm lazy. That's what we're getting. Okay, so we are getting a situation where dividing the images in half, it'll cut off. I don't know how to entirely fix it. Because it's a decimal, it rounds down. It integer divides, basically. Okay, okay, let's see, so, let's see, that problem, so that problem seems to be solved. However, now it is complaining that the other dimension is a hair bit, can't see this, smaller than the original. Let's just see what it says to this one. Means are not exactly inverses of each other. No. Different kernels with sizes. The kernel sizes are, you know, the same or whatever. Or when the padding is the same, the kernel size is the same. So missing or mismatched padding slash output padding slash dilation. Okay, a rule for that is must exactly invert. Yeah, it does. So but your transpose uses kernel size of 3, stride of 2, padding 1 without output padding. This produces the correct height, but the width is 1 smaller or vice versa. Hang on, I should show this because this is maybe interesting. So we'll go 3. blah blah blah. That looks okay. This output gives you true inverse should be O equals 2i. You're missing output padding equals 1. So for your transpose convolution, add output padding equals 1. Oh, hello there, Mr. Chatter. Example fixed layer. So just add output padding equals 1 to my... This makes output exactly match the input. If you say so. Wait. Oh, wait, this AI has no idea what it's talking about. You can't have... Well, I don't think you can have a padding with a stride, but we'll try adding the output padding to this. The AI might be completely delusional. In fact, I usually think that is probably the case, but we'll see if it has anything. Nope. Oh, well, that's a different exit. Failure condition. Run workload with the environment variable. Get additional. Okay, no, I think that just didn't work. So I'm just going to try to lead ChatGPT in the right direction now. So, that didn't work, comma. But it seems that seems there might be some integer divisions problems. Based on the resulting number. Let's see if that'll point it in the right direction at all. Yes, if the size mismatch is off by more than 1, and especially looks like a clean division error, for example, 128, yeah, then the problem is 100% caused by floor division happening in the convolution stage. Yeah. Your stride does not evenly divide the spatial. Your padding is not same, and the convolution drops a new row column. The kernel size is greater than 1 with the stride greater than 1 without matching padding. What happens on the forward convolution makes it something like this. Floor operation is the danger here. Once the size is floored, no transpose can fully recover the original dimension because the important information about the fractional part is lost. Telltale sign, if your image dimension is something like 200 becomes 99. 150 becomes 74, and 255 becomes 127. Or, yeah, something in that sort of regards. This one doesn't make sense. That is perfectly divisible by 2, but okay. Then you're seeing integer floor division. Yeah, I understand how that works. A transpose convolution cannot unfloor. Yeah, you must stop it from even being floored in the first place. Okay. Okay, I'll try padding equals same, but I am pretty fucking sure that that's not legal. Make sure the width height are divisible by the stride. For stride 2, input must be even, otherwise you'll lose a pixel. If the input is odd, you use the output padding only to fix off by 1 errors. Output padding cannot fix a floor by 2, but I can only fix the mismatch of 1 pixel. I need the actual numbers to solve exactly. Okay, well, we'll try. I'm pretty sure fail with a padding equals same, because I'm pretty sure you can't have a padding and stride at the same time with PyTorch. I'm pretty sure, yeah, padding is not, well, here, let me get what the actual numbers it's complaining about here. So it says it wants the input size after the stack, size after your transpose stack. Oh, I didn't separate them. Well, here. Let's quickly save this by pasting that into ChatGPT. Exact definition of each convolution 2D. That's kind of annoying. But we'll make off the up layers equals and sequential, and then I'll just do that. X equals salted up layers. Print X shape. All right, that should give us 1, I think. Ooh. Okay. Yep, there it goes. Okay, so let's go back to ChatGPT. I know vibe coding's bad, but I'm not really vibe coding. I'm using the AI to make an AI, so it's fine. So let's see. The input size is 1920 1080. The after conv size is 33x60. The output size is 1920 by 1056. The exact definition of convolution 2D and transpose layer. Okay. Well, I think I can just send that and it'll be fine. If it actually wants, I mean, this is nothing particularly groundbreaking. I could just paste this in here and be like, here's my stack. Thanks for the detail. Let's break down the figures. So, the input size is that, the after that, and the transpose goes to that. Key issue is that after your convolutional layers, your image size becomes that, which means something happens during the downsampling that causes a huge reduction. However, when you're trying to bring the image back to its original size, the output becomes 1056 instead of 1080, which is off by 24 pixels. Why is this happening? This suggests that the stride and padding layers might be causing this large reduction. I mean, we want a large reduction in spatial dimension. That's kind of the idea. Layers aren't fully recovering those lost pixels. Let's calculate the, okay. Figure out, we need to understand the parameters. I know exactly why. We did the math for it. Size reduction is likely caused by using a stride greater than 1 and possibly counter. Okay, so that's not what it is. Let's assume the kernel size of the stride, for example, padding of 1, which is common. It gives the following. Okay, it says after applying the formula after the convolutional layer, the output is this. Height calculation. But the actual output is 32, meaning the stride padding kernel size larger than what we calculate. Okay, check the. I think it's a little bit confused and doesn't imagine that I'm doing multiple layers here, but this would give you a larger output, wouldn't exactly match your size of errors down. So in your case, it seems like it might be missing. Okay, strategy. Or precise fix. Use padding equals same, but that's not allowed. Final steps. Check if the. Here, let me just paste in the actual like model that I've got here. And see if that gives me like the actual solution. Now, why did it just ask me to sign in then? What? Okay. Thanks for sharing the mom code. This makes it much easier. Let's break down the potential issue. Downbox uses convolution with padding same and a convolution 2 stride 2 for downsampling. This should be okay as long as padding same is correctly maintained the spatial dimensions before downsampling. The stride of 2 reduces the dimension by half. The up block uses that with stride of 2 for upsamples, followed by another stride of 1 to refine the features. This should also work theoretically, but the mismatch you're seeing may arise from the exact downsampling that's happening. Blah, blah, blah. So you're seeing a mismatch of that to that to that. This suggests the downsampling is being applied too aggressively, and the upsampling doesn't. I think it's a bit confused. First layer. This preserves the spatial dimension because padding is the same, so the size remains that. down 1. Yeah, the first convolution with padding same should preserve the spatial size, and the second should reduce it by half. Okay, it's just going to go down the road each time. Okay, after each subsequent block. So that to that, that to that, that to that, that to that. So after the down block sizes, which matches your reported output size. Yes, you did the math correctly, ChatGPT. Congratulations. Upsampling. Now let's check the. Wow, it's going through what we already know is here. Okay, so it goes boop, boop, boop. At the first block, it's that. Yeah, second up block, upsamples again, again. And then there's, okay, so the problem, as you can see, the output is, yes, that is the problem that we're trying to. The issue here is that each layer is upsampled by 2, and you're not adding output padding one to accurately account for any discrepancy caused by integer division during downsampling. They are essentially lost in the downsample phase and need to be added. So, solution. To fix this, add output padding to the column where upsampling is happening, especially after the last layer reduces the full height to 1080. So out in channels equals 64, out channels equals 1. Add output padding equals 1. Okay. That shouldn't necessarily do anything. Correct the height description. It will? Let's see if this works. I highly doubt that that is necessarily going to work. And I will stop this if it does, because it's going to print every single time through. Oh shit. It doesn't work. Wow, which no one is surprised at. Cannot create a printer script for the... Oh. Actually, this could not create a primitive descriptor for deconvolution forward propagation primitive. Yeah, additional diagnostics information. Shut up about the graphics drivers. I understand that I have an update that needs to be applied. Okay, let's see. Environment variables. Python buffered equals 1. Don't entirely know what about that. Oh, we should do a semicolon in between them. Var 1, semicolon, var 2. Okay. Alright, let's see what's going on here. That's a lot more diagnostics than I wanted. Okay, this may be completely unrelated. And I don't know. That additional debug information was quite useless, though. I'm going to disable that, but paste this into ChatGPT. But okay, I'm now getting this error. Okay, let's see. I am now getting this error, which may entirely be because of that, Judge. What am I doing? Well, I am doing AI stuff. Well, I'm asking ChatGPT why my code's failing right now, but I'm making an AI thingy to solve this thingy for me. Basically, I'm gonna feed it in. Oh, I guess the idea in the futures. I feed it in images or live feed from my game of this, and it's just gonna tell me what the solution is. In theory, right now we're getting errors, so nothing is going to plan. The error you're encountering is related to a runtime issue with the version PyTorch. Specifically, you're trying to run the upscaling layers to model the issue because one of the well, I think I am doing something that is mildly interesting. So, it'll take a lot more time now for the 10 seconds that it'll save me at some point in the future. So It's totally worth it, in fact. Anyhow. Let's see. Mismatched tensor sizes is unexpected size. CUDA / blah 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 back. Your message points to an issue with Odin, which is the library used for optimized tensor operations. This can sometimes happen due to mismatches between tensor dimensions and backend expected output. Invalid padding / stride configuration. If the kernel size, stride, or padding in the transposed convolution layers are incompatible with tensor dimensions, it might result in this error. You don't say! I mean, the solution to this is don't, like, compact it to a point where is basically only do, like, 3 layers and then just, like, add more intermediates so that things can actually be affected. I think that's technically the solution here, or just resize all the images on their way in to be something that can be divided a little bit easier, but whatever. Potential causes, check tensor size at each layer. What is this going to have me do here? We already kind of did that. It can't do this last part. If the output shape for layers is not what you expected, it is possible that something went wrong during downsampling. I didn't change downsampling. And, like, scroll through this junk code here. It is exactly what we expected before downsampling. In fact, all these things. In fact, no, we know what it is. I'm pretty sure it's this output padding BS here. Adjust the output padding. Since you're using output padding 1, make sure you are not using incompatible value for stride. To be fair, I'm not. I'm using stride equals... I'm not even setting stride here. Padding and kernel tensor upscaling. After upscaling is off by more than pixels, this could cause issues. The value should match up with the downsampled bits. Here's a quick check. Check if stride is consistent. If you're... Well, actually, there's padding equals 1. Gosh. I'm beginning to... You know what? Here. I'll just give up on that. We'll see. How much did I need to go... Or how far did I go before it was... I think it's 3, right? Yeah, so we'll change this to only having... We'll get rid of the inner 2 blocks. That's still going to be a decent number of channels. And then we'll just, like, add an additional one of these layers into each of these. I'm going to assuming this is probably going to work, so I'm just going to comment that out. And we're going to see if this works now. And here goes the GPU. Ah, crap, it didn't work. Okay. So I didn't remove the output padding. Nope. What? Acquired aspect FP64 is not supported on this device. Okay. I'm pretty sure that is the I'm pretty sure that's it not having the thing that I needed to, that I was failing to install because of the Python version. So I think I'm going to just copy a different... So I'm going to go to my face here while I do this. I'm going to open this folder. And I'm just going to copy a different virtual environment over to here. Wait, but which one is it? There's a .venv and a venv here. Well, actually, which one has more stuff? This one has Yeah, okay, so I think I know which one is the correct one. So, I have another virtual environment with everything properly installed on it somewhere. On this drive, in fact. So, we're just gonna... Hopefully, nothing is hard-coded to this specific folder. I know virtual environments can have that sometimes. And if that is an issue, I will just, I guess I'll just recreate everything with an older version of Python. That'll work. Alright, go back to the projects folder. We'll delete that. That's a lot. It's like, 6 gigabytes of shit that gets deleted there. And we'll paste this. Yeah, PyCharm is quite large. Also, there's going to be... Oh god, Windows file copy so slow. Anyhow, there's going to be a fairly large number of other libraries that this has installed in it that is not particularly relevant to this, because I only installed PyTorch and OpenCV for this specifically, because it really didn't need anything else. Now we're just waiting for... Yeah, okay, this is ridiculously slow. Come on, Windows. I could have written something that copies these files faster. It's going. Well, it's the single-threaded nature of Windows file copy that's doing this. Because this is within the same drive that it's copying all this stuff. 7 gigabytes. Holy! Why are Python libraries so freaking large? Yeah, why are they so large? It's not like they contain, do they contain example images? 7 gigabytes of Python code seems excessive. I mean, actually, there's also a lot of binaries in there, which may be cross-platform. Actually, no, they're probably not even cross-platform. Maybe they are. I've never really looked that deeply. But still, this stuff should not comprise 7 gigabytes for a few things. Because, I feel like... With PyTorch in particular, it might be that there's a bunch of pre-trained models in there. But with everything else, I have no clue what's going on with this. Also, why is that green screen so bad today? Ooh. This whole area seems way too dark. And I don't know why. Because I haven't changed anything about the setup. I'm not going to bother trying to fix it today. Because... Okay, 3 minutes... It just jumped from 7 to 3 minutes. It's almost done now. It got to a big block of files that it could transfer really quickly. Okay. Now it says 5 seconds, but I don't believe it because the speed dropped like a rock. A lot of tiny files. Again, Windows file transfer, or Windows file copying, transferring, whatever, it's not particularly smart about how it does things because it doesn't look for the next file. Oh, and then there's another really big speed bump. It doesn't look for the next file until the current file has finished doing what it's doing, which is kind of inefficient. What you really should do is find a list of files first, then go down the list copying them. Okay, it finally finished copying. We reopen the IDE, and hopefully everything's just going to work and I don't have to re-download PyTorch because that could be very slow and annoying. Okay. Okay. Indexing, it's updating the Python interpreter because for some reason that's a thing. This should be not 3.12 anymore. Updating skeletons, which is a slow as fuck process. I think someone's singing outside. Again, it is freaking cold outside. I don't know how you can do that, but especially it's one person. Okay, we'll see if this just works now, because this should have all the libraries properly installed. If not, I need to create a new Python virtual environment and reinstall the things. And PyTorch takes forever to install, because of course it does. Especially considering I have to use the Intel-specific distribution of... Oh, it's actually just indexing now. I might be able to just run it. Let's check. It's also confusing that there's this ven folder and the .venv folder. I don't know what the difference is. Very strange. Oh, that's a lot of red. Damn it! FP64 is not supported. Okay, that didn't work. Not at all. Did not work at all. And there it actually fails with -1. Alright, so because this didn't work at all, I'm going to go for the rather extreme thing. We'll go back to here because I have to close the IDE again. Or wait, before I close it, open the folder. Open Explorer. Close. I go. So all that time I just spent copying stuff. We'll just go and get rid of that. Let's get rid of the pi cache. Because I don't know what that is, and it's always very annoying in version control when people accidentally commit the pi cache files. Okay, so. Okay, so now the interpreter is completely gone. It still thinks it exists for some reason. We'll create a new interpreter. Be virtual environment. This time, we'll use 3.11 as the base Python version. Let it go for a moment. Why is this window named ... Okay. Okay, it's got the interpreter there. We go to the terminal. Okay. I guess I'll show this stuff. Alright, so just go back to when I was trying to install things earlier. So this is the first one we gotta do. This doesn't have the virtual environment in it yet. So now we go there. Alright, so that stuff should basically all be cached regardless because I did this recently. Or should have done this recently. So that should go over the fuck, it still has to download 200 megabytes of something. Okay. Well, we're gonna be here a moment. I don't entirely know how to pass the time right now, so actually, while this thing is being slow at downloading, I'm gonna go take a quick pee break. So, I'll be back. Alright, it is still down. Wait, it's doing other stuff? Okay, well, that finished downloading. It's installing something now. That's fun. You know, I've briefly had a teeny bit of experience with this other Python interpreter type called UV, which is way faster at downloading things because it does it in parallel. It's just I don't know if or how I would use that with this because this I specifically have to specify repository links for like Intel and whatnot. So annoying. So annoying. Anyhow. It's not even downloading anything right now. It's just installing. What does that mean? Who knows? Who knows? No, I probably have stuff I could talk about. Like, what? Okay. And pip upgrade. I really should system-wide do that stuff. Let me make sure we're not going from the Canadian. Nope. That's way too far up. Why is this lagging so much? So, I don't know if whatever. /US should be the end of that. Because the Canadian servers are ridiculously slow for downloads. Okay. Version. Damn it! This is the thing I was having earlier. PSUtil. Here, let's run this pip upgrade. This might... Okay, I might have to, like, not do this here. Because I'm pretty sure I've done a successful install on this version of, So, pip is looking for a multiple version of Intel to determine which version is compatible with other requirements. This could take a while. It's not really telling me what's what here. So I might have to just give up on actually trying to make this AI for today because for some reason it's refusing to install the libraries correctly. And we just have to... Can I just... can I have a version that satisfies the requirement PSUtil for Intel from versions none? Here, just for, you know, just to see if this could potentially be solved by a quick trip to the Google doctor. Let's see if it will at all give me any sort of useful information. The error did it in case of pip cannot locate version P, which is a dependency for that. It's going to occur due to several reasons. Blah 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 blah. And parallel Python version. Versions required. Okay, we already downgraded the version of Python we're using, so I doubt that that's going to be it. We're on 3.11 now, and I used it on this version before. The current Python version. Actually, here, let me see. Oh wait, crap! I closed that web page. Hang on. Let's history. Let's go. What version of Python is it telling me? It says it's compatible with basically all 3.9 through 3.13. So, yeah. Here, I'll run their sanity test here. Oh, here, let me do the pip upgrade. Oh. Yep. And the other one's not installed properly for some reason. Alright. I've tried to install PSUtil directly, but it doesn't work. There might be a temporary network issue preventing pip from accessing PyPy or custom package. Tried updating pip. I've tried installing on its own, it still fails. Just brought it with on your system. If you know a specified version is compatible with... I don't know what version is. Use a different version. Explore if a different version have different PSUtil to consult the documentation. Where's this going to take me? Refer to official documentation for anything. Because maybe I think their repository might just be broken in the first place. This is just another AI search. What the fuck? That is such a stupid link. There's a GitHub issue. This is an open issue. Seems to be a network issue on your side. Torch has a WHL for 212. By the way, it would be useful for at least 2. Torch has for non-Linux Intel. I'm on Windows. What the heck? Caused by Intel. I'm not even on 311 anymore. I told. Hang on. Version. We're on 311. What the heck? Well, this was a long time ago. Had the same error, but reinstalling PyTorch with X. Well, I think I'm not gonna try solving this on stream anymore because that's kind of boring, and also very annoying and brain hurting to do. So I'm going to instead transition to collecting more data to eventually feed into this. So please pause while I launch and prepare the game for full playing, because that's what we gotta do at this point. Also, I can't tell if this is my system or what, but I'm having an issue recently where when I close the game, it doesn't actually stop running in the background. So once again, my playtime on Steam doesn't exactly reflect how long I've actually played the game for, because, well, it doesn't actually close. So I'll close the game, and then I'll go to bed, and then come back the next day, like 12 hours later, and it'll still think the game's running, which is very annoying. Because I gotta go into like Task Manager and crap and kill the game sometimes. I don't know how you screw up this badly with your crap. Especially now, because the Rockstar Games Launcher stays open when the game's running, and that even closes. Even if I click the exit button in the Rockstar Games window, it's like, no, that's not gonna happen. Oh yeah, that's right. I'm gonna call Jerry Cole right now. Anyhow. So, alright, yeah, you can't see what's going on yet, but the, very much annoying. I don't know how they screwed stuff so badly on this. Right, oh, yeah, also, I didn't realize there was interesting music on the main menu. It's so quiet that I've never heard it because I've never had headphones on when playing before. Okay, so, let's see. The two places that I know of the two easiest places that I know of to get to this hack would be either on the Cayo Perico heist setups. Oh, copyright. Okay. So hopefully that didn't do anything. I hate that they have the radio on in cars by default when you like go into single player or whatever. So annoying. I just have the radio. Invite on session. I just have the radio like completely off because it's honestly annoying, and it's usually either not a good like volume or whatever. Yeah, okay, I can go. Welcome to Los Santos. Specifically, I was already in the agency. Oh, radio. Okay, where is this radio coming from? Okay. Somewhere in the apartment. Hopefully that didn't do anything. Huh. One friend playing. Well, I'm not going to bother looking who that is right now because I am on a mission. Okay, where the frick is the radio? Okay, turn the radio off because I do not intend to have the radio on. I hope I don't have to mute this section of the stream because of this. So, it's not on! What the heck? Here. Why was it on at all? It wasn't supposed to be on! I hear random Dr. Dre music in the background here. Well, this has already gone farther. Okay, let's see. Where in the contract was I? I just passed where it is. Well, that's not particularly good. Alright, so I guess we're going Cayo Perico, because I don't want to have to go through the entire rest of the contract to loop back around, because that's like... literally, I mean, with someone, it's like an hour and a half. Alone, I don't know. I've never really timed myself, but I wouldn't be too particularly motivated. No, nothing is okay, person at the desk. It's all gone to shit. I was hoping to actually get something trained and not working, but it's not even getting to that point, because fucking Python's not working. Reason number 11.5 to hate Python. It looks like the oppressor was my vehicle at the moment. Alright. To the beach, so I can get in that submarine. Speaking of which, service vehicles, request. And then, I actually have no idea where I am in the Cayo Perico heist. So, we'll just take a quick little look. I think what I could in the short term do to actually get the Python stuff work is I could just use the interpreter that already exists elsewhere on the system and just directly reference it. But I don't feel like doing that right now. Okay. I don't know. OBS, this looks very low frame rate right there. It was perfectly fine for me. In fact, oh, you actually can't see that. The frame rate is not on screen because I had to punch in. Oh, perfect. Nothing done for the heist yet. So, we quickly then gather intel, and then we can just go straight to the mission. Okay, well, I guess I wouldn't have had to do the entire contract. I just have to finish the contract and then immediately go to the High Society League again. It's too much effort, though. This, I can literally do the setup here. Then it's weapons, I believe, that I gotta go to for the, as long as I don't get the fucking Merryweather weapons thing, it should be fine. Anyhow, so we got a few moments before that happens. Yes. Yeah, I don't know. So, shut up, Pavel. So what's very unfortunate is that I was before streaming, I was thinking, oh, I could do that. I've got a few things I could talk about on stream. And now that I'm streaming, I've completely forgotten about most of them. So, yay. Oh yeah, I guess interesting, considering actually playing GTA Online right now. Yeah, the mansions are coming next week, and Michael is going to be in there. You know, I kind of was just expecting these are just like really expensive kick-ass houses that you can get. I wasn't really expecting too much to be added beyond the houses themselves as just like an endgame thing, but no, it looks like they're actually going to be like the building or I guess the thing to use as a launch point for some actual new mission content or whatever with Michael, which I guess I wasn't totally expecting them to do anything like that. It's like, these are just going to be like a very expensive safe house to show off, like, look how rich I am. I can do all this, I can buy this useless freaking mansion. What is it? It's like Safe House in the Hills, that's the actual name of it. And obviously, this feels like it was supposed to be the last update, a real update for GTA Online. But obviously that's probably not going to happen now because we got a whole another 6-month delay, or practically 6. It's a little bit less than 6 months actually of a delay that Rockstar handed us, but functionally 6 extra months of GTA Online that weren't initially expected. So Rockstar is going to have to do something to keep people pouring the cash into their pockets while they bust unions and, yeah, all that stuff. Luckily, I don't give Rockstar a single cent of my money. I just use their server computing resources to play the game. So, and store my profile data as well. Is there someone on the road who wanted to kill me? Surprisingly, this aircraft is very resilient to explosions. Which I guess is convenient. Okay. There we go. Hello? Gotta go around? Yes, hopefully this doesn't run afoul of any of YouTube's policies now, because, I don't know, some of those recent policy things make me think that GTA is not necessarily the best game to be playing on YouTube at these times, but we're facing basically west. This is potentially one of the worst spawns for the worst plane. Anyhow, we gotta get over 1,000 or 1,000 feet in altitude, I think, or 1,100 or something like that. At which point the thing flies ever so slightly faster. So that is why I am pointed in the upwards direction right now. Oh crap, I did actually damage this thing a little bit too much, didn't I? Whatever, should be fine as soon as we get above altitude. Let me... Uh-oh. Okay. Once we get over this ridge on the mountain here, we should be good to just head directly to the dot then. We're at sufficient altitude. I hit... Okay, I'm glad I didn't shoot that last missile at the guy because, yeah, this thing has already taken a fair amount of damage. Which is annoying and unfortunate. Also, what feels like me keeping the plane level here... Really, okay, so this is going to take a hot second to get there. This is the most unnecessarily annoying part of the heist. Yeah, like, it kind of makes... Logically, it makes sense. Drug smugglers, they'd want to land not in the city because they're going to be noticed if they land in the city. But at the same time, did you have to make us fly all the way across the map, Rockstar? You couldn't have, like, out that way, the beach out that way. Couldn't have had them spawning over there. You had to spawn all the way, you had to have them all the way up in Paleto Bay, which, by the way, Paleto Bay is a settlement, so actually, being up in Paleto Bay, they probably would be noticed. Now, like Sandy Shores, Grapeseed area, I'm pretty sure that's, like, far out, no one's gonna give a crap there. But, like, Paleto Bay? I think people are gonna notice. What's our altitude at now? Because I know I just get, yeah, we're almost, yeah, like, we're over 2,000 altitude now. Because I don't know what level is, evidently. I, like, never do. Yeah. We need all the altitude we can get with this thing dying like this anyhow. Yeah, that's, yeah, fun, exciting stuff going on. I have, let's see. I'm done with, oh yeah, we're almost done with the current season of Coolcraft, so look forward to new shit coming there. We're, I don't know what we're doing next. We'll figure it out, though. I got some, like, ideas for some entities and stuff for my game, so that'll be fun to maybe implement soon. Of course, I'll have to stop procrastinating for that, which will never happen, obviously. Stupid piece of crap. Stop dying on me. Yeah, I'm ridiculously high up right now. I should, like... maybe... think about descending a bit here. They really do not need to be this high. I mean, the cloud cover and whatnot is abnormally a lot right now. I mean, theoretically, I will be going, you know, faster if I'm falling a bit. Okay, we're almost there. We're over the port right now. Yes. It's not too far out this way. Oh, and then all the clouds suddenly disappeared. Oh, oh. This thing is very much busted. There we go. Alright, we made it. After too many minutes of just sitting there doing that. Alright. Hey, the plane's a different color. Look at that. Can we skip this cutscene? Hang on, wait up. Why
can't you assholes be on time for once, eh? Arms out.
I don't know. The planes you give us are quite terrible for this, honestly. Like, this one was smoking all the way here. I didn't feel safe in that.
Over there. They will bring it soon. Go on.
I mean, over there is basically the middle of this airport.
As soon as you go beyond the airstrip, you must be careful. If guards get a good look at you while you're in the restricted area, they will know something is not right. Safest thing is to stay out of sight.
Yep. Basically. Alright, so we just, this here is always the trickiest part due to the number of solid pieces of foliage that you can run into. Just wreck you there. It's so annoying having some pieces of foliage solid and some aren't. Very annoying. Anyhow, now I wait for that guard in the tower there to do his round so I can sneak by. I swear, this checkpoint is some of the most annoying, or is like the most annoying part to get by on foot. Like, the first time I was here, we spent ages trying, the first time we did this, me and JRD Cole, we spent ages trying to get by that checkpoint, or slowly getting by that checkpoint. We even, I think, went all the way around the island, for the most part, which was very slow, because you can't climb up any of the cliffs over there, until you get around to the main dock, of course. And before I found out about the motorcycle, the thing you can do like right here with the motorcycle, the easiest way I'd found to get around here was just go around from like the party beach to the main dock. That is always gonna work and 100% skip this checkpoint. Okay. That guy just passed? Fuck. There's my bike. Okay. I'm having a hard time with the annoyingly solid foliage right now. Okay, almost ran into 3 things there, but didn't hit any of them. Alright. And finally, up the hill to the radiator, to the tower, which it's on the ground right now.
Could be up on the tower. Could be ground floor.
It's ground floor. You can tell because there's not a guard. I hate this hack. This one is comparatively simpler though. See, I don't hate this one. Nope. Let's try straight. Wait, shit, that was not right. Okay, we'll try straight across again. Nope. Nope. So 2 to 10, 6 to there. This will work. I don't remember what these multipliers are. regardless, I did it.
I am in. The app is on your phone. Let us do some window
Yes,
shopping.
that's where the apps go. Alright, and I need to move my keyboard over because the sensitivity of these cameras is a crime, I will tell you. Alright. So, a lot of room for the mouse to be able to... I think you gotta go this one. Ooh, that's pretty good. Well, go through all the other ones.
This will make our trip worthwhile, yes? Hard cash? Always welcome. I will mark location.
Not very valuable.
The case will be a challenge. Use the wrong tool and you destroy what is inside.
I don't know why they just leave cash out on a table like that. That is kind of weird, honestly. Yeah, they just leave a pile of cash on a table like this. Like, what is this, a honeypot or something? Man, I've recently found out, honestly, I've been recently finding, look at this painting, that the generally in here aspects of Cayo Perico have been quite barren of actually good shit recently.
It's on your planning screen now.
Like, it's been annoyingly, like, void of resources. Or of secondary targets.
You want more? Bring friends.
Like, cash again.
Noting location.
And that's it. Okay. Well, that's all we need to do with scouting the island. We can now go to... I'm not on the tower. Okay. We climb up to... I think the first rank of the tower is probably good enough for this. And then we just jump off to get back to the airfield. It's a quick trick to get out of having to figure out how to get back to the airfield. Because that can be quite a slow and tedious process. We just go... Whee! Good enough. There's no penalty. You just respawn. And then you go, hey, here, I'm at the plane. And hey, here, we're going back to Los Santos. Alright. Now that we have that done, we can go and take, or we can go do the weapons thing, which will give us access to one of the places we can do that hack. They're not exactly the same, but the actual UI for the hack is the same. So we should be fine, because that's the only actual useful... Let's get a spare. It's the only useful information in general. Okay, perfect. There shouldn't really be anything else that should too much distract the AI from figuring out how to... I think this would be this will be pretty hard to train the AI on like how it needs to decipher things. Because obviously we're not like telling it, okay, match this to whatever else is around.
So, primary
Just let that go.
complete. Come back to the submarine and we start to plan in detail. If you wish to return to the island to check something, be my guest.
It's almost like I've done this a million times before, Pavel. So, now that we've got that, we can go and start taking screenshots. So my plan is here to just intentionally fail the hack. Just kind of sit there taking screenshots a while, because I realize, 17 examples isn't a lot. But having all the numbers in different places would really help. And then getting different sets of numbers. So we get a minute on each one. I don't know how many times the numbers shift.
And you have a tan too, no?
So we go
Come over to the
for...
screen and I will give you the tour.
Wait, which one is it actually? Is it weapons? I think it is weapons. Yes. Schlongberg Shack Center. So, unmarked, and by that we mean someone else's unmarked weapons. I can't believe there are this many unmarked weapons in Los Santos. It's honestly a little bit ridiculous that there's just this many unmarked weapons that people are guarding this loosely. And it always seems to be the same few people. You'd think they'd learn. Well, they die and then they, come back. We just hope that someone else... So the way we have no paper trails, we just hope someone else didn't have a paper trail. Perfect! is this building.
You are approaching the coordinates now. You can go in through front door, but roof entry may also be possible. Expect a hard fight when you are inside.
Well, I mean, they're not gonna just want to give it to me because it's that building. Damn it! You see, these dots on the map ground, it's so hard to tell which actual building they're for because, like that there, that doesn't really seem like it's at the entrance to a building in general. It's this one, though. Yeah, there it is. It's this one. Because that dot did not seem like it was on a building. Oh, this one's very annoying. It's not really good space on the roof. Like, why is the roof even laid out like this? Huh? Why? Like, what is inside? Okay, that works. What is inside underneath these solar panels? Like, I don't know. Alright. Yeah, we try to stealth this.
It will be kept separate from the regular weapons. Look for a gun locker somewhere. It may be hidden.
You don't say. Okay, thanks for closing in my face door. Alright, so then here's the part where we deviate from Pavel's plan. Decode. Shut up, Pavel, and just let me do a thing. Alright, so now we get to take screenshots. So, once the thing opens. Screenshot. I don't know why they're so slow. I honestly don't actually care about looking for the actual number right now. Actually, I should move this around a bit. Because I don't want it to, like, this is a full color image. But, it theoretically really only needs, like, the red channel to, get stuff. And, I mean, keeping the red stuff centered would be a good idea, but I just don't want it to, like, take the color channels into any sort of account. This is a double 80 right there. Oh, that's a completely useless image. Anyhow, so now we get a double 0. It's right there. We'll get like anyhow, I'm doing a bad job at commentating right now. Because I'll have to go through and mark all these up later. Thankfully, they only shift by 1 each time, so knowing the sequence of image, I actually just know where it was before, move over from that, and it shouldn't be too hard. Hey, Pebbles. Okay. Having random extra stuff on the screen is also probably going to help with the training a little bit, because, like, that text could be there. That's such a useless text. What the heck? Okay. Let's do one more, then I'll call it in and actually finish the mission. It has also been, you know, 1 hour 45 minutes. It's like 5 seconds-ish before each move. Beep. 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 And, got 20 seconds. This will be a whole lot more data. That should hopefully be some. Okay, I'll actually take a screen, like 2 screenshots of this one, And then actually, oh, it's one's okay, here it is. 00. It's quite easy to actually find. Alright, so that is quite frankly a ridiculous number of screenshots to have. Now, I mean, it's not like thousands of data points, but it's a fair amount, and I could probably get more later if I really wanted to. This is such a use.
The kind of people who have cache of unmarked weapons will try very hard to kill you when you steal them. Move fast and watch out. You know, Capitan, I have heard we are not the first to rob Mr. Rubio.
Yeah, it's probably some other nut job just like me. I don't know how they found out, considering they had.
Last time were successful, but they made one crucial mistake. They used their own weapons. 6 months later, Mr. Rubio's wolves had tracked them down, and they were shipped to the Panther's cage in very small boxes. This is a mistake we will not be making.
Alright, that was a relatively successful-ish getaway. But yeah, so. Alright, so that should be all we really needed to do in GTA Online today, so I will... Well, it's quite boring to go and do the annotation, so actually, well, once we're done with this, I will probably end the stream there. Stuff didn't work, which is sad, but we did some stuff, like troubleshoot why Python was working. Python's so annoying, so terrible. I wish these AI frameworks existed in other programming languages that were in Python. It would be so much better. It would be so much harder to have these random issues pop up. You know, dynamicness can be useful at times, but it's not. It gets in the way sometimes as well. Like, why doesn't this work? Like, with other languages, you could just download all the libraries or whatever. It doesn't have to be from Intel specific computer. But anyhow, yes. So that's going to be the end of that. So yeah, thank you all for watching. Hope you've enjoyed. Please make sure to leave a like on the stream on your way out. I don't know if I'll, and you know, subscribe, notifications, all that. I don't know if I'll be doing anything else necessarily like this in the future. Maybe though, maybe, you never know. I don't know if I'll show this again. It will probably appear on my GitHub once I'm done with those, so you know, look for it there. But yeah, thank you all for watching. Check out my game, linked in the description, and I will see you all in the next live stream video thing, whatever. Bye.